What's up, everyone? This is Cinderella Stories. I'm Savannah Hamilton alongside that's right. Ashley is on vacation, living her best life in Spain without me. I'm so jealous because she's just like in Europe getting a tan while, hey, I'm in Canada and the weather's already getting cold. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, that is crazy. Last week it was like touching 18 degrees. Like it was still August. Now it's September and the weather's just warming up now. But hey, anyways, to replace Ashley, we brought in our very first external guest ever on the show. So please give it up for Barbie times Tim Hortons times the PWHL doll. Yes, we need a name for her, so I'm going to leave this to the audience. Guys, everybody who's watching and listening, please come up with a name with her. We got to find something sassy that reflects her, and I think Ashley will be like, oh my gosh, she looks just like me. Like, no, Ashley, she does not. She doesn't look like you, okay? But let's get into it. We will be actually talking about the PWHL a little bit later on, probably when Ashley's back. Their season is around the corner. They have tons of off-season transactions. They're opening up two expansion teams heading into the next season. That is Vancouver and Seattle. So excited to kind of get into what those markets look like for the PWHL, as they have had just so much success, especially in their opening season, and they're just kind of carrying that momentum. And they're, of course, like as any team does, like as any I guess expansion teams or new league does, they have growing pains. And speaking of new leagues, Ashley will actually be coming in and talking about the brand new women's baseball league that is emerging. It's like one of the first baseball leagues that they've had in decades, like professional women's baseball leagues they've had in decades. So I can't wait to hear more about that from Ash. But today's episode, honestly, is going to be very tennis heavy. US Open has been all over my timelines. There's no escaping it, honestly, between all the big names. Leylah Fernandez, Venus Williams, that duo right there, killing it. Naomi Osaka and Taylor Townsend. There's so much to talk about. We will be bringing in our resident tennis expert, that is Nadine Singh, aka Nay, and she is going to be coming on and playing a little game with us called Nay or Yay. So stay tuned for that in a little bit. And then finally, we're going to wrap up this episode by just kind of diving in a little bit to the WNBA space, as we always love to do here as well. And we're going to leave you guys with an opening question that hopefully percolates some thoughts. So let's talk tennis. Okay, so there's so many storylines to really kick off and get into here. The stuff that I want to really dive into, because we'll have Ashley kind of chiming in with her own Venus Williams take, which, oh my gosh, what an incredible storyline that Venus Williams has right now. But one thing that kind of has been standing out to me is Naomi Osaka. So I just want to remind everybody, including myself, when I was kind of like doing my research and prep for this episode, just why, like the real why underlined. We are all rooting for Naomi right now. And I mean, I know that there's other fans that are probably rooting for other people, but honestly, like, I feel like you can't escape a redemption story, like a comeback queen, in terms of what she's putting out there right now. Naomi Osaka is in her allow me to reintroduce myself era. She came in seeded 23 to beat the third seed Coco Gauff to reach her first Grand Slam quarterfinal in more than 4.5 years. Naomi Osaka came in at the 23rd seed, and she just defeated the third seed, being Coco Gauff, to claim the Grand Slam quarterfinal spot. And she hasn't done that in over 4.5 years about. So, I mean, for me, I'm a sucker for a really good story as a journalist. And so I want to do a little bit of a deep dive because, when we're storytelling, I feel like a lot of, it's kind of an American trope more than anything, but people love to see their heroes rise and then quote unquote fall or have some sort of negative thing that they're up against, and then kind of come back from that. So I want to kind of dive into the rise of Naomi Osaka. So we all remember that she was born in Japan. By the age of 3, she moved to the States, and she kind of picked up tennis right away as a kid. She made a bigger splash in the tennis world kind of around the years of 2014 to 2017. But then by the time 2018 hit, and she was just 20 years old, she had a huge breakout year. She won her first ever tennis association title at the Indian Wells Open, and that really put her on the map. 6 months after that, she beat Serena Williams in the US Open. Yeah, she beat her at her own game and in her own country, and that allowed Naomi to win her very first ever Grand Slam title. So she's on the map now. There's no hiding from that. She kind of like, does herself one up from there by going in 2019 to the Australian Open and claiming that as well. So now she is back to back, like Grand Slam champions. And that hasn't been done since 2015 by Serena Williams herself, okay? Just an incredible feat at that. And then going into 2019, following the Australian Open, she claims the number 1 ranked player in the world for women's singles. And so that was really the rise of Naomi Osaka, okay? But then let's get into the battles that she has faced, the stuff that she didn't quite let crush her, because she has come back. And we'll get to the comeback in just a second. But disappointment sets in, okay? She announced to the world that she will be skipping the news conferences in the French Open. And then she also skipped Wimbledon. And then at the Tokyo Olympics and the US Open, she lost in the 3rd round. And then finally and tearfully, she told reporters that she was contemplating on taking a break from the sport. Here you have this Grand Slam back-to-back champion, breaking records, matching Serena Williams records even, beating Serena Williams herself. And all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling well, so I'm going to just not do this. So she steps away from the sport. And this causes a huge conversation piece around mental health. Now, around this time, mental health was still coming up to the forefront. And, there's so much leeway and leverage that we still have yet to go when it comes to that conversation. But for sure, she was just kind of lost. You could tell that she was battling something bigger than herself. There has been other advocates. We know that. I'm going to buzz myself, but this conversation is important. DeMar DeRozan obviously was one of the first NBA players to come out and talk about mental health in a meaningful way. So Naomi kind of brought it back to the forefront of sport in general, but definitely in tennis. And that was huge. So things started to look a little bit more positive for Naomi back in 2022. But then all of a sudden, she was kind of playing in the Pan Pacific Open, and boom, she withdraws. She was like, I don't feel well, but this time a physical pain. She had abdominal pains in that Open. Now, fast forward a little bit, she had a baby in the year of 2023 in July. So I didn't do the math quite on that, but I think that kind of adds up. And she ends up taking a 15-month break from tennis. So about a year and a bit. So kind of going to the comeback story now with her. She has come back in some other tournaments a little bit, but she's kind of on the climb again. People are like, hey, you had your time. We respect you a ton, but you've kind of been in and out and mainly out. So what's happening now? And I think this is her, once again, allow me to reintroduce myself, period, statement. And I have so much respect for Naomi, because I can only imagine what it's like to be a mother and have all those expectations, and also be open about, having mental health, stuff going on as an athlete before you were even a mother. And we all know about what comes, start layering all that stuff up on each other. There's been tons of athletes that have also been open about postpartum depression as well. And I'm not making any assumptions that she has that, but it is tough. Women have to battle a lot just to come back to a sport, not to mention the physical changes that also happen to your body. But so here she is. And once again, she just reclaimed the spot of, I shouldn't say reclaimed. I should say she is now in the quarterfinals of the US Open, something she hasn't done in over 4.5 years. So that's pretty remarkable, seeing her rise. And something that also is kind of chef's kiss poetic is the fact that she won it against Coco Gauff. Now, the reason why that's poetic is because Coco Gauff won the US Open back in 2023. And honestly, I could do a whole separate rant about Coco Gauff and her story. That will come maybe next week or a following episode, because she's remarkable herself. She came in third, Coco, into this tournament. And so when Osaka kind of defeated her, it was sweet. It was one of those bittersweet moments, especially for, I guess, tennis fans, but definitely for Osaka. That was probably just sweet for her. Let's be honest. But she said in her post interview, she's like, listen, I'm a little sensitive and I don't want to cry, but honestly, I've just had so much fun out here. And for Osaka, like, that is so huge. And man, I like think about putting myself in her shoes and like, oh man, my empathy. Oh, I just feel that like all the pressure in the world to perform, all the battles you've had to overcome. And, she did say it before, like, the sport kind of wasn't fun for her anymore. And now she's like, this has just been fun. I feel like when athletes have fun, they perform their best. And so I think that's like, I don't know. I love hearing it when they're having fun. But she goes on, she says, I was telling everyone, literally, I was in the stands 2 months after I gave birth to my daughter, watching Coco. Yes, Coco she just defeated. And I really just wanted an opportunity to come out here and play. This is my favorite court in the world, and it means so much to me to be back here. So very poetic that she was able to come back, kind of back to her glory, her reign. And even if, as we record this, she's going to be heading into the quarters, and even if her story gets cut short, I think the fact that she proved to herself that she could rise above is huge. Like, she's better than the seed that she has been given. And so I think she just kind of proved that. And once again, reminded people who she is and why she's one of the best women in tennis. Naomi, as we record this, she is going to see the 13th seed being Karolina Muchova in the quarters, okay? There's kind of a side plot happening here, and it's not a good one. Like, straight up, I think this is almost every woman's worst nightmare coming to fruition. Karolina Muchova has had to face something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy any day, anytime. Like, just, it has no place in sport, and it's harmful and dangerous, straight up dangerous. So I'm going to use her quote, kind of published by The Athletic, and it was also translated. Keep that in mind. She said in her second round match of the US Open, she had to, and keep in mind, Karolina came in the 13th seed. So Karolina was actually pretty highly ranked coming into this one. She said, opposite my bench, my ex-boyfriend sat down. Sometimes he shows up in places he shouldn't be. It startled me a little bit. I told him to leave. He didn't. But later he did go. It was hard to focus in that moment. And according to her, she kind of said that, she was all right, but she didn't make any report. Everything's good. And then another reporter asked her if she's confident that those incidents won't happen again. And she said, I mean, who knows? I don't know. And I will say this, it is very scary as a woman to have to worry about basically a stalker at that point. Like, yes, it's an ex-boyfriend, but we all know that when it comes to domestic violence, like a lot of times, or like when women are missing or murdered, a lot of times it has to do with their domestic partner. Like, that has to do with their partner. And so to see somebody come up in your place of work, keep in mind, this is their place of work at the highest stage where the entire world is watching you, knowing that it is going to be harmful, rattling, manipulative, controlling, that's disgusting behavior from any man, but especially an ex-partner. And unfortunately, it's the reality too of a lot of women on a day-to-day basis. And I will be completely raw and transparent. When I read the story, it really struck a chord with me because I think a lot of women have had stalkers or, the crazy ex-boyfriend, which is really much like an understatement to how mentally harmful and distracting it can be from your day-to-day life because you're now checking your shoulder, like, where is he? And we don't know Karolina's story. We don't know what happened in their relationship to make her feel like she had to basically pause the match in order to make sure her ex-boyfriend, I should say, was dismissed. Like, that's the impact that he had on her. And so, yeah, so I would say that listen, as somebody who was basically stalked for a year and a half after one of my personal breakups by an ex-partner, it is scary. And you check your shoulders, and you don't want to do the dramatic thing of like getting a police restraining order, and it's like a whole process to do that. And like, you know, and I will highly recommend women who feel in danger to do that. But sometimes you feel like, well, is that necessary? And you kind of second guessing yourself. So I will never put the blame on her for like not putting a restraining order officially on him if that is the case. Once again, the details, this is just what she's saying after that match. You know, the details haven't really fully come, and they're also translated. So it's just not it's where sports is supposed to be a safe space. An ex-partner making it a dangerous space for you to perform and do your job is by far the worst thing in the world. I feel like that could happen to anybody, and on any level, on any platform, in any job. On another note, we're going to kind of twist it back into a positive here with Venus Williams. Stalking is actually going to chat more about her career, her arc, and where she's going right now and how her tournament has gone so far. This is so exciting. I love it. And then on the other side of Ashley, we'll be joined again by Nadine Singh, our resident tennis expert, to give us a little bit of her yays and nays regarding the tennis tournament, but then also a couple other things as well.
I may or may not have put up with some things I shouldn't have in my life, but one thing I will not stand for is Venus Williams' erasure. So let's have a moment for Venus. Because Serena's older sister recently made her return to the Grand Slam circuit, getting a wildcard entry for the US Open at 45 years old after a 16-month hiatus because she had surgery on her uterine fibroid. That in of itself is a feat, and we could leave it there. But it's Venus's legacy that we absolutely do not talk about enough. She walked so Serena could fly. Venus turned pro at 14 years old, and the road was never going to be easy for a 14-year-old black girl playing in a majority white sport. But in her first match, she had to face the 1988 NCAA D1 champion in Sean Stafford. And in that match, Venus won, fully putting the tennis world on notice. Who is that? Fast forward to 1997, her first Grand Slam final against the Martina Hingis. She did lose. So did a lot of people to Martina. And 6 years after her debut, Venus finally broke through with that coveted Grand Slam win. She beat Lindsay Davenport and she won Wimbledon. With that win, Venus became the first black woman to win at Wimbledon since the 1950s and Althea Gibson, who she paid big time tribute to this year at the US Open before she took the court. So boom, Venus owned the early 2000s. She goes back-to-back at Wimbledon and she goes back-to-back at the US Open. Hello, but she wasn't done there because she headed to the 5-ring circus that is the Olympics, and she also captured the singles gold medal. By 2002, she is ranked #1 on the WTA Tour, and she's the first African-American woman to hold that ranking since the Open era. She held the spot for 11 weeks. Venus Williams' career is enviable by any standard. 7 Grand Slam wins, 49 WTA titles, and I haven't even gotten into the international play yet. So let's talk about the Olympics. 4 gold, 1 silver, and 3 of Venus's gold medals are with Serena. In doubles tennis, she has the most medals for a tennis player in Olympic history with 5. Can't tell Venus's story without Serena. The two are intrinsically linked. So in 2000, Venus is having a banner year. She gets singles gold at the Olympics, also adds a second gold doubles with her sister at Sydney. In Sydney? At Sydney. Talk about this magic pairing. It would feel like staring down the barrel of a gun. Venus and Serena have 14 Grand Slam doubles titles wins. But the sibling rivalry was alive and well because the two were exceptional at the same time, trying to take over a sport traditionally very unkind for black women, black athletes as a whole. Everybody knows it to be true. The racism was so prominent with Serena and Venus. So having each other in those moments, I can't imagine what it did for their confidence, for their mental, to know that somebody is going through the exact same thing that you are. But because we know that siblings can be petty, if I'm Serena, at least twice a year, I'm just texting Venus 11-5. That was Serena's record against Venus in slam matches. 11-5. So when you think of the tennis GOAT, Serena Williams pops into your mind. When you think of the greatest athlete of all time, Serena Williams is certainly in that conversation for her caliber, for her duration of dominance. No one's sitting here saying we would never have Serena Williams' success if Venus didn't exist, but we've had it to this magnitude. Well, Serena doesn't seem to think so, and why wouldn't you go to the source? Serena is on record saying, Venus taught me how to compete. She is one of my biggest idols. And I just want to make sure that we give Venus Williams her flowers as she's still competing in the US Open. So shout out Venus, because if you didn't know, now you know. Thank you. Bye.
All right, everybody, welcome in Nadine, aka Nay. Also, by the way, I actually started calling you Nay, and I was like, I never even thought about calling you a nickname like that, but like I love it. It's really cute. So
That's the
as
first
long as it
time-
has like your approval.
Oh yeah, no, it does. This is the first time anyone's called me Nay.
Okay.
'Cause usually, like, my family nickname is Nini.
Nini.
Yeah, but I low-key prefer Nay, but more.
Nay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start calling you Nay Nay, but then I was thinking like, remember the dance from like way before?
Yeah.
Watch me whip. No, I can't. That's bad. All right. Tell us what we got going on.
Okay, so it's time for my favorite game, Nay or Yay. For anybody new here, as Savannah said, I'm Nay. Nice to meet you all again for the second time. So this segment is literally just going to be me deciding what's hot and what's not in the sports world. And if I like it, if we like it, it's going to be a yay. Otherwise, it's going to be a nay. So
Perfect.
let's get it started.
Yeah, tell us what we got going on, girl.
So first on the chopping block, we have a sparkling moment. Naomi Osaka rolled up to the US Open with not one, not two, but 4 Labubus.
4 Labubus. Okay.
But to start off, are you a Labubu fan?
I grew up. Okay, no, actually, I'm not gonna date myself. I'm like, well, let me just say, I grew up in a different time where I don't. Yeah, no.
No,
I'm not a fan. I find them funny. I'm not a fan. Overall.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I'm not. It's not a thing for me.
They look
and they're
creepy.
overpriced.
Oh yeah, $80 for one.
But the
Labubu?
resale market is insane for them.
Yeah,
can't.
I could never.
I see like the TikTok of like, TikTok that's like, here's my 24 karat Labubu.
Yeah.
Like I live for those. I live for like the
our
TikTok sound.
24 karat.
Yeah.
Labubu.
This is our 24 karat Labubu.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our Labubu. Barbies were my Labubu.
Yeah, no, I find them creepy. I find them ugly.
Yeah.
Hate me for it, but I said what I said.
You said what?
I said what I said.
You said what's that? Yeah, I think they're creepy. Straight up. I think the evil eyes of them. I don't want that looking at. That looks like my paralysis demon. Like,
Exactly.
no, I'm not trying to manifest that. I'm good.
So she came to court. Naomi Osaka came to court with 4 Labubus. We had Billie Jean Bling. It was a red rhinestone covered Labubu, and it was a playful take on Billie Jean King. And we had Arthur Flash, which was named after the famous goat, Arthur Ashe. We had La Billy Boo, which was also a little witty spin on Billie Jean King, because apparently a fan commented saying that Billie Jean King wanted her own one.
Oh.
So that was her little take on it. Had the little glasses, a tennis racket. Super, super cute. And then for the last one, it was a silver Labubu. She paid homage to Althea Gibson, who was the first black woman to compete at the US Open 75 years ago. Super, super cute.
That's so
I like
cool.
But what do you think about this whole Labubu tennis fashion?
It's a nay for me.
Why?
It's a nay for me. I don't, cause for all the reasons we just listed, they look like my sleep paralysis demon. I'll say it again. Like I can't get behind it. The resale market is insane. I mean, if somebody gave me a Labubu, I actually don't know what I would do with it. Like
Really?
Yeah, I would not clip it on any of my bags. It's not like that for me. I used to be like, okay, back in my day. Let me tell you something, kid. Sit down, strap in. Back in my day, we used to collect Neopets when they had the plushies from McDonald's.
Okay.
And that was my Labubu back in the day. Like I would collect them all. So that was about it. But like that was a whole world to itself. So Labubu's not for me.
Even though I hate Labubu so much, I low-key liked it. I would rock a
Really?
Swarovski studded Labubu on
I
court.
mean,
Why not?
listen,
Why not?
If somebody wants to give me a 24 karat gold Labubu, a Swarovski, how do you say Swarovski?
Swarovski. That's how I say it.
Swarovski?
Yeah.
Okay.
Swarovski.
Swarovski. This should be sponsored by Swarovski over here,
Yes.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Like Labubu as well. I feel like I would not be mad because I would just resell it. I would just resell it so fast. Yeah. I'd be like, thank you.
We love a businesswoman. We love a businesswoman.
That's $1,000.
It's a yay for me, though. And then for our second topic, we have some real tea from Flushing Meadows.
Okay.
After her win over Yelena Ostapenko, Taylor Townsend got served more than just a match win. She got served a full face of drama. So
Yeah.
apparently what went down was there was a net cord shot that Taylor Townsend had. And she didn't apologize for it, and Ostapenko decided that it was the pettiest thing on earth, and she went down this whole rabbit hole about, oh, like, this is like disrespect, how could you not do this, how could you not do that, like, it's basic courtesy. In my opinion, it was very childish on her end. Like, ma'am, you're 28 years old, your frontal lobe is fully developed, this is not how you should be playing or like even like behaving on court. And it's funny because it's not even out of character for her.
Yeah.
Because in the 2022, she threw her water bottle at her little bench, and she had a whole argument with the chair umpire as well. And then in 2016, she actually ended up throwing her. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but she ended up also throwing her tennis racket on a ball boy.
What?
And she's like, "Oh, it just slipped from my hands."
Okay, so she has anger issues.
Yeah, she has anger issues.
Okay, so that's called therapy. Honestly, like, she was pretty disgusting towards Taylor Townsend. I saw the clip, I saw everything, and for me, I love kind of dissecting body language. Now, I'm not a body language expert, but I've read a book or two, and it was just really telling, like, who the aggressor was, and talk about being a sore loser, first of all, but like, she was pointing fingers, and Taylor, she's just like, yo, you good? Like, what? And then she's like, no, like, come talk to me. Like, let me hear you out for a second. And then she's like, okay, never mind. And then she, like, Taylor, like, just, like, in the classy way, walks off. And the fact that Helena said that she was she said she had no class.
Yeah, and that she was uneducated.
And Taylor did such a great job in her press conference, kind of also talking about the racial undertones of those comments, because I clocked that right away too. I was like, excuse you? Now, here's the thing. This is actually how racism oftentimes shows up in sport. It doesn't show up all the time directly to your face, although it does. That also still happens. More often than not, I would say it shows up in the under comments. And I feel like it shows up in a lot of workplaces too. The whole like, well, your hairstyle is not professional.
Yeah.
Well, that's just not classy. Well, what's not classy? Like, winning?
Exactly.
Sorry. And like, would you say that to a competitor if she was also like a white woman? Would you say that, exactly, no, facts. And then also on top of the fact that she also said that you're not educated. Once again, would you say that to a competitor if she was a white woman?
And where's that even coming from?
And where's that coming from? And why do you feel the need to say that? Right? And now she, Helena, she came out recently and she was like, and keep in mind, you said it right, she's 28 years old. She said that on her Instagram story, I want to apologize for some things I said during my second round singles match. English is not my native language, so when I said education, I was speaking only about what I believe as tennis etiquette. But I understand how the words I use could offend many people beyond the tennis court. First of all, that's not even a direct apology to Taylor Townsend. And second of all, just like, I'm sorry, but in what translation even have you ever had the need to say no class or no education? I'm not buying it.
No,
it's BS.
I'm not buying. It's
Cap, you knew exactly what you're saying. You have previous records of throwing fits. Absolutely inexcusable. It's racist. And it's actually internalized as well. Because if she actually believes that she didn't mean that in a racist way, it's coming from an internalized place. Love, like, get yourself checked. Like, check yourself. Do some research. Do some education for yourself. Use this as a growing moment. And then come back and actually apologize to Taylor properly. I don't know if she did. Obviously, we don't know all the details. I'm assuming that probably not. Yeah. If she's willing to like behave like this, but this is how racism actually does show up more oftentimes than not just in the sport world, but in life.
Learn some English, Ostapenko.
Learn some English. Maybe take another English class as well.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
Okay, and for our last and final, yay or nay moment.
Oh, by the way, that's a nay.
That's a nay.
It's
a nay.
That's a hell nay.
Okay, so for our last nay or yay topic, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged.
Oh, we've made it this far without talking about Taylor Swift. This is where I excuse myself. Thank you very much. I'm going to be rolling over here. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
What do you think?
I got to be careful with what I say here because I don't want the Swifties coming after me.
Yeah, no, we still love her. Don't get us wrong. We still love her.
Do we?
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I was a Taylor Swift, a person that appreciated her work. And
Yes.
I think I still do appreciate the work. And I think the artist has just become a little bit more than
An artist.
Culturally, figuratively.
Yeah.
And it's a little crazy out there. Like, I genuinely mean Taylor Swift fans, they actually scare me. I'm so for real. I'm so for real. Like, I feel like I have to be so careful with what I say. But so I mean, congratulations to, a woman and a man for falling in love and getting engaged. I'm happy for you.
So to just go rewind a little bit for people that don't use social media, don't use Instagram, you live under a rug. Travis pulled the ultimate rom-com move. There were roses everywhere. He gave her a giant diamond ring. Kudos to her.
Love that for her.
Yeah, love that for her. And they posted an Instagram post that said it was straight out of a Wattpad fanfic, if you ask me.
I did see. I saw it. It was okay. It's beautiful. Yes. It's
Your
beautiful.
English teacher and gym teacher are getting married. I don't know if I was the biggest fan of the caption, but you know what? I'll take it.
It's a yay for you. The caption.
No, it's still a nay.
It's still a nay.
It's
a nay.
And then surprisingly, not so surprisingly, Travis Kelce's jersey sales spiked 200% overnight.
That's crazy.
It wasn't just an engagement. It was also a merch drop. Low key.
You know what's funny about that? Well, obviously, everything's so done strategically these days, honestly. But I mean, sure, maybe it wasn't on purpose, whatever. But I have a feeling that okay, let me ask you, who do you think bought his jerseys? Was it more male fans, or do you think a different demographic probably just went out and bought the jersey?
I have a feeling it's the different demographic. It's more, I think, Taylor Swift driving all of this, because low-key, I didn't even know who Travis Kelce was until they started dating. Yeah, as I think of most Swift fans, they probably weren't as aware of the NFL. But I mean, maybe they have followed and now they're. I'm sure there's fans out there that have literally gotten into the NFL because of Taylor Swift. Oh yeah. Oh,
so,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Do we think this could be the brand deal of the century?
The century brand deal of the century?
Yeah. Imagine how much money they're making out of this.
Oh, I would have to see the numbers on that because that's a big statement. But you know what? Show me the numbers and then I'll have an opinion.
Okay.
Because I just think about, brand deal. Is it a brand deal?
Hate me for this, but low-key, I feel like it.
It is?
Yeah.
It's all just a game.
Yeah,
it's all really a simulation, if you ask me. But anyways, that's a topic. That's another podcast.
Is it a yay or a nay from you?
For what, their engagement? For finding love? I mean, I'm not going to be that much of a hater. Yay. I'm happy you found love.
All I'm going to say is I hope this lasts.
I hope this
lasts.
And
it's actually endgame for the two of them.
I want to be your endgame. My voice has so much damage. It cracks all the time.
But yeah, okay, I guess, yeah. Because they seem like they're in love and they're happy together. I hope so. They look like it. I'm going to say it's a yay for me too.
It's a yay?
It's a yay. It's a yay.
Have a wonderful wedding and just a great celebration. You can invite me. With all that said,
too.
invite me to the wedding. Be so for real.
Don't forget
here.
me, please.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. You'd rent out Venice again or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was it for this week's Nay or Yay. If you guys enjoyed this segment and you have anything that you want to talk about, or want us to talk about actually next week, let us know in the comments down
For
below.
a yay or nay segment.
so I can be back and get some more airtime. Next
She
week.
wants all the airtime. I'm crying. All right, leave. Go away. This is now Cinderella Stories with Sav, Ash, and Nay, and Ash and Sav and Nay. We are going to bring back in Ashley Docking now to talk about a brand new professional women's baseball league coming.
If you've ever picked up a baseball glove before, you've heard this line.
There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball, but in 2026, you know what there will be? Women. A brand new league of their own, the Women's Professional Baseball League, is now ours to enjoy. Here are the specifics. It launches in May 2026. 6 teams with 15 players a roster will play 8 regular season games, plus playoffs, plus an all-star competition, following a draft in October. The 7-inning contest will be played on neutral sites. They're thinking Connecticut, New Hampshire. We have had a women's professional baseball league before. In 1992, the movie A League of Their Own, starring Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Lori Petty, John Lovett, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, was a fictional depiction of the All-American Girls Baseball League that did take place in the mid-1940s. The All-American Girls League was established by Philip K. Wrigley. Yeah, the Chicago Cubs, Wrigley Field, the same guy. Because at the time, the World War II draft was absolutely killing MLB rosters. So in an effort to keep baseball popularized and keep it America's game, they let the girls play from 1943 to 1954. Eventually, the All-American Girls League grew to 10 teams, primarily across the Midwest. And in 1948, they boasted an attendance of 900,000 spectators coming to watch the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And the Rockford Peaches, if that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's where Dottie Henson and her kid sister Kit played in the movie. Well, the Rockford Peaches were real. They were the most successful franchise in the All-American Girls League. They won 4 titles and at one point, 3-peat champions, baby. So just like in the movie, Rockford were those girls. 65 original members of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League appeared in the League of Their Own movie when they recreated the induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The women in that league are actually in Cooperstown. 29 of the women who played in the All-American Girls Baseball League are still alive to this day. Unfortunately, when World War II ended, male sports were prioritized again, women's sports were decentralized, and the league became defunct. But now we are so back. The Women's Professional Baseball League is the first time in nearly 80 years where the girls are playing baseball. And I'm not talking softball, not that there's anything wrong with this. We're talking high heat, Henry Baumgartner, Wild Thing. 600 women, can I say that again? 600 women came out for this tryout. But moments like this are rarely about the end goal, to be honest with you. 600 players turned up in hopes of making one of 90 roster spots. And it just signifies the astronomical growth of women's sports. The WNBA, enough said. The NWSL is eclipsing every major benchmark it's set. There's a professional volleyball league that we're seeing. And now there's women's baseball, and it's all backed by investors. This isn't a flash in the pan. And if you're not a fan of it, that's okay. You don't have to be. But get out of the way. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much, Ash, for the update. I hope you're enjoying Spain, FYI. And yeah, I can't wait to continue to talk about the Professional Women's Baseball League, especially here on Cinderella Stories. But to wrap things all up, I saw this on my social. Basically, the Dallas Wings players in the WNBA, they were asked while they're walking in, if you could be anybody in the world for a day, who would you be? And now you got the typical responses. You got, I want to be Beyonce. I want to be Taylor Swift. Somebody said the president, which honestly, I think that would be a great choice to be the president and turn a lot of things around. And then there was also Paige Beckers who said Zendaya. So my question to our audiences, our listeners, if you were to trade lives with a WNBA player, who would it be? Would it be someone like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers herself? Could it be like an Asia Wilson or like a Cameron Brink, like a Fashion Nova, like Queen? Oh, she's not really Fashion Nova. That's more like Lexi Brown. But, you know, still same thing, Fashion Queen. And I was thinking about this a lot. And I honestly feel like my answer actually might be Angel Reese. Because I think she just like lives life to the fullest, like on and off the court. I mean, I'll be getting them rebounds, that's for sure. That I know that's right. So, but I'd be very curious in the comments. Guys, tell me, if you could be a WNBA player for a day, who would you be? And that wraps up another episode of Cinderella Stories. Ashley, yes, we missed you. Hope you come back as tanned as our new friend on the show, Barbie. And that said, we actually need a name for her, so don't forget to leave a comment with her name. And of course, like, subscribe, follow us everywhere you can. We're on all the audio platforms officially now, so be sure to check that out as well. I'm Savannah Hamilton, and we will see you guys next week.